Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the new special Fest exclusive celebration Godfest that has just gone live in North America. So this is like a pseudo seasonal event because there are 3 seasonal cards featured, and there's 7-star Halloween Durga, there's the 8-star Christmas Kali, and then Valentine's Ideal and Valentine's Akine, who those 2 are just arguably some of the better cards at this point in time, especially for this rainbow meta love we have been receiving. So there's a decent chance you have a chance to roll them. For 7 8-star Godfest exclusive, there's a 15.5% chance. 6-star Godfest exclusives are 15%. And then total goodies are 38%. Now, it's possible maybe I counted wrong, but I think I counted right. Counted a couple times. And 38% is actually pretty high, especially if you actually like the seasonal cards featured. And aside from Durga, who is maybe you like or maybe you don't, I feel like Valentine's, Akine, and Ideal are just stellar cards at this point in time for sure. So if you don't have those cards, maybe rolling here may not be bad. And I do know that, I'm aware of the fact that the 20 Magic Stone Super Godfest will arrive at some point in North America, at some point, and that has a 100% chance to roll any 7 or 8-star Godfest exclusive, which from a rolling rates point of view, that's obviously as good as we are able to actually get. But at the same time, this event is actually reasonably strong overall, again, for those couple of nice seasonal cards. And it's also the debut event of Lavril. And for Lavril, she is, whoops, wrong thing, I've minimized, but she is a 7-star Godfest exclusive, and she's a transforming card with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 unique weapon assist forms. So, for her base form, she has 3 skill boosts, skill bind resist, bind immunity, and then after 26 turns, you do get to transform, and the transformation does provide 2 turns of haste. Haste is nice because it lets you get your leader swaps into position or other transforming cards. At 26 turns, this is definitely obviously on the higher end, so to speak, but if you're leader swapping anything in position, good chance that it's going to require more skill boost by comparison, or even longer transforming cards. So the haste is never going to be a bad thing. So I like that it does give haste. And then once you do transform, Lavril, or Avril Lavigne, becomes a unique rainbow card. So they have super poison resist, they have bonus movement time of 2 seconds, they have guard break, and they have 3 5 attribute awakenings. So wonderfully strong personal damage right there. And their active skill is a 4-turn cooldown that gives you a looping attack buff. And this looping attack buff gives you a 50% attack buff for every 5 color attribute awakening on the team. Again, depending on the type of team you're able to actually build, 5 attribute may or may not be actually that readily available. It may not be the most consistent style of attack buff we actually have at this point in time. So that could be a little bit problematic. Like the A10 evolution that gives an attack buff based on easier to achieve parameters. There are other ways to get attack buffs that may be more consistent by comparison. For their leader skill, they have 14.79 times effective health. And like I've said in previous videos, if you're above 11.11% or 11.11 times effective health, you tend to be at least bulky enough to try and tackle content. So this is definitely achieving a sizable amount of bulk, and this bulk only requires you to, well, it does require you to match 5 colors, so Raffine is probably going to just be a staple sub. To be honest, Raffine with their spinner generation and bonus movement time is just going to be a sub on every single rainbow team, I think. But you need to match all 5 colors, you get bonus combos, there's no auto follow-up attack, so be mindful of that aspect, but you don't actually have to worry about typing. There's no typing requirements here, so you are a bit more flexible in terms of what you are able to bring, and as physical healer God, you do have some usages on other teams, because God typing means Alexander can actually take advantage of you, or you could pair with Alexander if you truly desire. Maybe, it's a strong leader skill from a multiplier's point of view, and if you can find a way to bring auto follow attack, it becomes much more consistent overall, because with Raffine, you're always going to be able to actually find those, 5 attributes on every given board. But if you don't need them as a sub, you don't need them as a leader, they have 5 weapon assists, and each weapon assist is quite spicy. So they are all Easter eggs, and this is pretty cool because we got an Easter themed card on Easter. So we're getting this kind of ahead of schedule, so to speak, which is quite exciting. And for their red form, it gives 2 enhanced fire combos, which is a massive amount of passive damage when you really think about it. Seawolf teams, so much damage. Team HP, Team RCV, those are great awakenings, and the active skill gives you 100% shield, and then an attack buff for subs and an attack buff for everyone. So the 100% shield you can leverage at the beginning of a dungeon to help you transform. That's essentially one effective skill boost, so to speak. But even if you don't need this active skill, like its nice awakenings that it does bring. And if it does overcharge, let's say you inherited on like your Seawolf leaders, there are many dungeons nowadays where the spawn will fully hasten up your leaders so then their inherits are charged up. If this overcharges, it's not a bad thing, because if you think about it, 100% shield means you just don't die for that one turn. Now, like hypothetically speaking, let's say both leaders had 100% style damage reduction shield inherited. Well, you can use it one turn, then use the other one the next turn, and then on turn 3, the original Seawolf that was used first, the original active skill comes back up. Happy times all around. So great weapon assist for mono fire teams, but if this is not an appealing weapon assist, they have others. For the blue form, they have a super jam resist, 100% jam resist with no drawbacks. And in fact, the active skill is meaningful. It gives a 3-turn delay, and then bonus combo count by 3. But 3-turn delay with 100% jam resist. That's actually quite nice when you think about it. And it's on a 13-turn cooldown, which is manageable. You can definitely get it up on turn 1. There's a good chance you might be able to charge it back up if you need it like halfway through a given dungeon. For the green Easter egg, they give a dragon and attacker killer and 40% poison resist. So nice awakenings overall. And then the active skill is a looping shield if inherited on the correct card. It's an 8-turn cooldown that gives you 9 turns of damage reduction of 35%. So if this is inherited on top of a card with a 1-turn base cooldown, you actually have 100% uptime. And obviously, if you extend like the cooldown of the base card, you have a little less uptime. But at the point of the matter is, it's a long-lasting shield on a 1 cooldown card. You can definitely take advantage of this potentially on transforming cards or cards that have evolving active skills. You use the evolving active skill or the transformation at the start, and then when they get advanced to the new upgraded skill or their transform skill, their cooldown tends to be much shorter, which means you're able to actually leverage this active skill if you so desire. And then the fact that it does give a dragon and attacker killer awakening does give that owning card significantly more damage against that respective spawn. For their light Easter egg, they give you a 4 attribute awakening, so that's a 3.5 times damage buff for your rainbow card, which is pretty spectacular. And then the active skill is just a board unlock with the ability to create all 5 attributes plus hearts. And then it says RCV buff and attack buff. We don't know for how long. I'm guessing 3 turns. I don't know. Point is, like, you get an attack buff and an RCV buff. Like, it's nice to have buffs. You can overwrite debuffs. You get a board changer. But if it does overcharge, may not necessarily be the highest impact potentially. But again, if you don't have ways to squeeze in those buffs, maybe it's not a bad thing. And again, 3.5 times personal damage for that card is a monstrous amount of damage. And then for their purple form, they have, or the purple Easter egg, they give you 2 team HPs, which is a great amount of effective health, 2 seconds of movement time, and then an active skill that creates a single spinner, and then for 2 turns, and then 2 turns of movement time, and 2 turns of attribute and damage absorption cancellation. So it is 2 turns, which means it's sufficient to run in essentially the vast majority of given dungeons. You can run it in Shura 3, and it's long-lasting enough. It does give you that spinner to overwrite problematic spinners. It gives you that movement time to actually take advantage of the spinners. It's a pretty useful weapon assist overall, and it does give the bulk. It does give the movement time. So there are 5 great weapon assists and a strong leader / sub you can actually utilize. So if you are fortunate enough to pull Lavril, you are going to have a wonderfully strong time. I have no idea why she's called that. That's the very first thing I thought about, maybe because I grew up in Canada. So with that being said, I am going to do my free rolls because all players upon logging in will actually receive a free roll in this Celebration Godfest. Quite the celebration indeed. So I am going to go start with Fantastic, and I hope I get something truly magical and meaningful. It is possible you can get incredibly lucky off these free rolls, so hopefully it's a seasonal or Godfest exclusive. Hot diggity damn! This is a fantastic time all around, ladies and gentlemen. Truly spectacular. How many Zeus Gigas do I have? You know what? I have 2, and then you know what? More is more. I could make cool forms later. I'm not sure why some things got cut off on the side, but that's okay. We're going to transition onto the other screen, and hopefully Mantastic'c can do something equally cool. I would love to get something great on this account as well. So come on, big money, big money. We've seen that Godfest exclusives do actually exist from free rolls, so come on, big money. Big money! Oh, okay, that's truly unfortunate. Not so exciting overall. But you know what? I do like rolling, so you know what? I'll roll 1 time. Just for funsies. just for funsies, I'll roll once. And hopefully it's something truly magical. Come on. Exciting stuff. Hey, I love Manoa. I know there are people who want more Manoas, and I'm definitely one of those individuals because Manoa has so many different weapon assists, and they're all pretty great when you think about it for the respective color team, and it's such a pain to make and swap and change colors. So in theory, I would like to have at least 5 Manoas to have one of every form, and I'm starting to get closer to that dream or reality. So with that being said, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen have a truly fantastic day. Let me know what you think about the Super Godfest in the comments down below and whether or not you got lucky on your free rolls. Regardless of all that, hopefully you all have a truly fantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.